Well, hello everyone. I wanted to make a video today about where do Saint Hill Seog members actually go to sleep. Where is their home? So their home is in Walsh Manor in a small, adorable little town called Crowborough. And this here is a view right in front of it. Now I'm not familiar with this bit here, this sign here, which is Walsh Manor, very nice, and it used to be this small little sign. It's the same sign I used for my thumbnail, that picture. That's what used to be there. Now they obviously made it a bit newer and nice. And over here we can see a camera naturally. So this is the view on the left side. So here on this side over here is a long driveway where you walk down, and then here on the left you actually enter the property, and then if you go to the right it's a public footpath and you basically walk past the property. Now here you can see a house. These are actually two, well, it is one house, but it was always house one and house two, right? Because you've got an entrance on this side and you've got an entrance on that side, and there is a wall that divides the whole building, so it's two different units, you could say. Alright, so let's have a look at it a bit better. Let me get the map. Do bear with me. Yes, there you go. Okay, so we were just looking over here where the old tree was. Fun little fact, this tree that we saw, let me, yes, this one, is either the oldest or one of the oldest trees in Crowborough. It's over 500 years old, and it's actually featured on one of those leaflets for a tourist coming to Crowborough. Alright, let's go back to the map. This one. Yeah, okay. Good. So this is where we were looking. We were looking this way down. Here it was the tree, and over here was this one building where I told you that this is considered house one, house two. Okay, and then here is the path that comes along here, down there, which is the public path. And yeah, and here's the long driveway. Alright, so let me see if I can maybe zoom in a little bit. Not too much, otherwise it gets too blurry. Alright, so you come down here, and then got here these two houses, house 1, house 2, house 3, house 4. Now I don't remember if that's the right sequence. Maybe this was house 1, house 2, house 3, house 4. In any case, these are 4 houses, and then here is a bungalow. That's actually where my parents lived. And these houses are actually used for CLO, so Continental Liaison Office, which is one of the organizations at Saint Hill, and CMO, Commander's Messenger organization, which is also one of those organizations working at Saint Hill. These are more senior organizations, and these, as I recall, were mainly used for couples to sleep there. Okay, then we come down here the driveway, we go down here, and then over here we get to this long building, and this was Walsh Manor School. As I understand it, it was closed down in 2019, something like that. But when I was there, this was a school, and you had school all the way until about here. And in this last bit, this was the actual cadet office, where because obviously all the cadets were then had their little office, their little desks there or whatever. Then over here we have storage units for 350 people, although now apparently there are only about 250 staff members left. Anyway, and then one of these storage units, it might be here or it might be there, is the practicing room for the Seog band, the Jive Aces. You may have seen them. They play jive, are often in suits, all in yellow, and they're actually very fun, and they've got some great tunes. I actually really enjoyed them, and also, like, as people, they were actually very nice people, as artists like that genuinely are. Alright, and then over here, let me see, can you see it? Oh, hang on. I think, oh, is this it? Yes. Okay, over here you can see this little circle. I'm pretty sure this is the fire pit. And in Scientology there are, I mean, there's always this talk of every document is saved and kept, which is mostly true, but there are documents which are allowed to be destroyed, and then they get properly destroyed, so they get burned. And this is the burn pit, and this is a task we cadets often had to do. I remember it was over there. I'm pretty sure that that is it, because that does look like it. Alright, okay, so we come down here and then we get in front of the actual manor house. So this is the actual manor house. It is a late Victorian building, but originally, and this is pure speculation because I've never actually found any documentary about it, that there used to be a manor house built in 1664. The reason why I think that is because down here, when you walk down here, and here's the bungalow, okay, and then obviously the trees are in the way. Hang on, let me see. Oh yes, excellent, one moment. Okay, so this is a little bit further down. Let's see, can I go up? Yes, I can. Let's go again. Okay. Yes, okay, so this is the road down here I was telling you about. This is the bungalow, and on this wall, let's see if we can find it. On this wall there was like a crest. Ah yes, right here. Wow, okay, great, it's actually there. You can't see it, but you can see the symbol, and then there's a line in the middle. On top there is a monogram of 2 or 3 letters, and on the bottom it says 1664. So I'm just assuming that there was an original manor house in 1664. So 1664, this wouldn't have been Tudor, this would have been after. This would have been during the reign of Charles II, I believe. So we had Charles I, and then he was beheaded, and then we had the Republic for a short while with Cromwell, and then the people said, you know what, actually we like a king, and then they got his son, Charles II, who fled to France, back again, and then in 1664, I'm pretty sure he was then king, and now we have King Charles III. Anyway, a little bit of fun fact, history fact. Okay, now how do I get back to how it was before? I think this one. No. Like that? No, like this. Do bear with me, darlings. Okay, fine. Like that, and then we'll go like that. Satellite, yeah. Okay, now I'm back again. Sorry about that. Okay. Good. So this is where we were just now, looking at that. Okay, so here's the manor house. Now, in the manor itself, we had CLO and CMO mostly, who lived there. I'm pretty sure it was actually only CLO and CMO who lived there, as well as some couples. And my berthing, where I lived as a cadet, was right here at the end. So here we are. So this is the manor house, and then this whole thing here is not original, as you can see, and these are different wings. So you've got here 1 wing, 2, 3, and 4. And they were called wing A, wing B, wing C, wing D. Now I don't remember if this was A, B, C, and D, or this was A, B, C, and D. I wanna guess that this was A. I'm not 100% sure. Alright, so over here you have the kitchen. So this was the kitchen where I did the breakfast for 350 people more or less. Then we had here the dining room. This was the dining room. This was a small courtyard. You can actually go on there. And over here, so here's the dining room, okay. And then you have here a little corridor, but at the same time it was also a room where it was a library. So you had, naturally you had some Scientology books in there, but it was mainly fictional books, which was great. And a smoking lounge, people would smoke there and stuff. Okay, and then over here, this large thing, I'm pretty sure this is the gym. And down here is the swimming pool. Now, why does it have a gym and swimming pool? Because this was back, I think in the 60s, 70s, it was a facility for young boys. I think these were like misbehaving boys or something, and then they were there, and naturally they had to attend school, and so they had a gym and a swimming pool. The gym was actually all right. It was equipped, and we used that in class when we had a school at Walsh Manor. But the swimming pool, I mean, I couldn't tell you how often this was cleaned and the water changed. I don't think that often. It certainly was never heated. Well, I didn't enjoy that at all. So I didn't care for it very much. And by the way, something else I wanted to mention over here. This is obviously been taken during the day, and because over here in front, it usually will be full of white buses. The buses where 16 people can fit on there, 16 to 18, I think. It depends which model it was. And then we would drive from here, Walsh Manor, to Saint Hill to work there. The drive was, I mean, if you drove, shall we say, normally, then you would be there in 20-25 minutes. If you drove like a crazy person, which some of them did, then you were at Saint Hill, or more likely at Walsh Manor, because usually they drove crazy like that to get back home to sleep in maybe under 15 minutes. So this, yeah, was quite an exciting ride, particularly if you sit in the back. Okay, and that is that. And then you have here a little bit of ground. So here you can actually see people can play football. You have some football goals. Not exactly that it was utilized very much. Here is a little brook, a little stream of water. Here's another bit, and yeah, so that was that. So let's have a look what pictures we have. Okay, so this is from the side, looking at from the side. Let's see, maybe we can find something better. This is the same side. Okay, that's good. That's from a distance. So here you can see the manor house right in front of it. And you can actually see here an entrance, which looks like the main entrance, but it was never really used. It was always the side entrance. So if you go now here to the right, around the corner, remember this bit here, because this bit is this bit over here. So you come around here, around the corner, and then you enter in here. And looking at this bit here, I'm pretty sure this is original to the original manor house, because it's the bricks, they look the same, well, the bricks, the stones, as the wall where that crest was with 1664. Anyway, this is all speculation. I don't know. I'm not a historian, but you know, this sort of thing I do like and I find it interesting. Anyway, good. So that's that. So let me see if I can find a picture. There was a good picture of the whole manor house. Yes, this one, which I also used for the thumbnail. Now, the manor never looked like that when I was there. It always looked quite dreadful, but this looks really nice. So they really did a very good paint job. I like the white accents. I like this, well, this color was always there. It was this strange, it was like this cream color. It was this nice creamy color and this white accents, so they did a nice job at that. Well done. Probably the RPF. Okay, so surely, let's see, these pictures are all not really relevant. Now, come on now. Okay, well, I suppose you can see it from here. Okay, so this is the right side, this is the middle, this is the left side. And over here, where these two windows are, I think this one as well, was the cadet rooms. So this is the boys' room, so it was me and 3 other boys. And then this is a girls' room, I'm pretty sure. This one, I'm not sure if this is... I think, yes, I think this is the girls' room as well, because there were far more girls than there were boys. And then on the other side, which of course from this side you can't see this, was another cadet room for girls. Yeah, so that is basically pretty much it. And this is where people lived. Now, I don't recall anymore where I lived once I graduated the EPF, the Estate Project Force, which is the boot camp to join the actual CO. I want to say somewhere up here, but I'm not 100% sure. But my room was quite a small room, and we had, let me see. So you walked in and you had 1, and then you had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bunk beds. So 12 people lived in this room, and you really had enough space. It was basically enough space to walk along there. So you didn't have any open space where there was maybe chairs or some seating. No chance. And there was then a separate room when you turned right. There was a little, like a closet room where you had wardrobes, and then we each had like maybe this much space to hang our stuff up, and then we had chest of drawers, and I think we had 1 drawer, maybe 2 drawers. No, I think we had 1 drawer to have some clothes in, and under each bunk bed there was 2. I want to say maybe 60, yeah, about this, yeah, 60 80 centimeter times 60 80 centimeters, so that would be about 3 times 3 feet, more or less, maybe a little less, 2.5 feet times 2.5 feet, with little rolls on them, and then those were under the bunk beds, and then we each had one of these, and that was basically the amount of storage we had for our property. Now earlier I said there was also storage rooms. Let's go back to that. Yes, right over here you had here storage rooms, and these were basically possessions that you took with you from your time before you joined the Sea Org. So this may have been furnitures or whatever. Obviously most of the stuff was sold, and you know, I mean, we had several times so-called dekludge, where people would just go through there and just stuff would just be thrown out because it was just so full, right? Because you didn't have, you know, you took things with you, things that were important to you, maybe an heirloom, maybe a piece of furniture that was important to the family, and or whatever, and then you didn't have space to put it in your room, because obviously the rooms had to be uniform, so it had to all look the same and stuff. So you couldn't just have a random piece of furniture there, unless if you wanted to do that, you needed to get approval for it. So then it ended up in there, and then eventually there would be a dekludge. So kludge is considered any sort of physical stuff that is just unnecessary, it's in the way, it takes up space, and then it's a dekludge. So dekludging it, so just taking the stuff and just thrown away, and stuff would be just thrown away, and yeah, that was quite nasty. But anyway, so that is the property of Walsh Manor, where the majority of staff live. Sea Org staff, and I said majority because there's a few number, just a handful of people who actually live at St. Hill because their security and RTC, they live at St. Hill Manor. Alright, so I do hope you found that interesting, educational possibly, and we even had a little bit of history facts. How fun is that? Anyway, well, if you do find that interesting, do give it a like, maybe a subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below if you wanna see something else, if you have a question, if you have maybe a suggestion for another video or whatever, and all of that fun stuff. So I wish you a most marvelous day, and goodbye.